Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I'll be discussing the Women's Euro match between England's Lionesses and France. You can also listen to this match review on Spotify, link in the description below. Likewise, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can also watch this game review on YouTube. Link will be in the description. So I can already tell this is going to be a good one. The team that wins this one will, I guess you can say, set the mood for the rest of the games in the group. Honestly, this is a pretty tough group for England. They are in Group D with France, the Netherlands, and Wales. Can England make it out? Sure, but it's going to come with some fight and struggle. France is obviously going to put up a fight. They are kind of like England in the sense that they have a strong attack with pretty good finishing ability, especially with Diani, Katoto, Cascarino, Gayoro, and so on. England also has strong attacking and finishing potential, but they could face some challenge against France's backline and defense. Then again, in France's last friendly against Brazil, Brazil was able to get through a few times. If England is quick with their attack and pace, if they can apply pressure where they need to, they could break through the French defense. There is also the fact that France left off Wendy Renard, which is a choice. As for England's backline and defense, it's definitely up for debate. Cascarino is pretty fast and could be a problem for England's backline. The same also goes for Diani, Katoto, and Gayoro. I would like to think England will be more prepared defensively, but there's still some uncertainty there. France's backline and defense isn't anything special, but when it comes to England, their backline is almost on par with Germany. It's like Christian Vuk and Serena their logic, Christian Vuk and Serena Wigman, it is as long as you can score a lot of goals, we'll be fine. Yeah, I still remember that friendly from last year. You guys remember that one where England and Germany were great on the attack but were just shit defensively? Petridge Farm remembers. That being said, let's get into the lineup for this match. Right, so the lineup. We have Hannah Hampton in the goal. For defenders, Lucy Bronze, Alex Greenwood, Leah Williamson, and Jess Carter. For midfielders, Kara Walsh and Georgia Stanway. For forwards, Lauren James, Beth Mead, Lauren Hemp, and Alessia Russo. I could have some of the midfielders and attackers switch. However, England could be in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. I think a 4-2-3-1 is more likely in this case. There is strong attacking potential up top with James, Mead, Hemp, and Russo. There is also good pace as well, which will definitely be needed for England. Bronze will be able to get forward too, since she does like getting involved in the attack. However, she needs to make sure that she can drop back and support the defense when needed. If she does not, then that will allow Cascarino, Kashari, or even Bacha to slip through on that right wing, which is something England does not want at all. The midfield battle between Stanway, Walsh, Hemp, and Mead versus Gayoro, Jean-Francois, and Kashari will be interesting and fun to see. It is definitely not going to be an easy match for England or France. Both sides have strong teams, and we could see a lot of end-to-end. It will likely come down to which team can put away their chances. In other news, or less important news, my friend Katie, who doesn't watch soccer/football a lot, told me once last year that Pauline Peru-Magny has a nice jawline. I can't unhear or unsee it. Because of that, now you guys get to hear it and see it. You are very welcome. That being said, let's get into the first half. All right, so the first half, we are off. It's great to be covering England again. I had a fun time doing it in the last Euro. It would be cool if England can make it through, but honestly, this is a really tough group. France are in a 4-3-3. England are in a 4-2-3-1. 10 minutes in, both sides are about even. In these first 10 minutes, England had some earlier chances, and France created some a bit later. For now, the battle and control in the midfield is about split. However, England is doing a better job when it comes to control, regaining possession, and applying pressure. They were able to force a couple turnovers after applying pressure to the French back line. If they can keep that up, they will eventually be able to get a goal. So the 21-minute mark, Just when it seemed like momentum was about to turn in England's favor for good, Russo would see her goal in the 16th minute called back. James would play a long ball up to Stanway or Mead, one of them. Stanway/Mead would cross it. Hemp would make an attempt, but it would be blocked by Pauline Peru-Magny. Russo would collect and score off the rebound. VAR would check the goal and determine Russo was offside when James played the ball into the box. So the scoreline still reads 0-0. 30-minute mark. France is starting to get forward more. They are creating a few crosses and services as well as making attempts on goal, but nothing has sufficed just yet. In the 24th minute, Kashawi would make a run and she made an attempt from distance trying to catch Hampton off her line, but the ball would go wide. Thankfully. 45-minute mark. England, since the 24th minute, has been playing a very dangerous game, allowing France to just run into their box. France was maintaining control and possession and shutting down England's attack. They are putting pressure on England's back line, and that very pressure would pay off for France. In the 35th minute, Delamida would play an overlapping through ball to Cascarino. Cascarino would cross it and Katoto would score, making it 0-1 for France. In the 38th minute, Baltimore would dance past some English defenders and score France's second, making it 2-0. I'm just surprised, like no one stopped her. Anyway, VAR would actually check the goal, thinking Russo may have been fouled by Lacra, but the goal would stand. The first half would see an additional 5 minutes of added time, and even though England would get forward, nothing would come from it. The half would end with France up 2-0. All right, so France is up 2-0. This is not the position England wants to be in. 2-0 down at halftime. England was doing well at the start of the half. They were aggressive and able to maintain control and possession. They did well putting France's back line under pressure. However, after they had Russo's goal overturned, it was like the attack had just given up. Honestly, that's kind of what it felt like. It was like they just threw their hands up and just decided they were done. It's kind of weird. France got settled, and then it was their turn to attack. That was probably the biggest mistake England made in this half, was just letting France get settled. As mentioned previously, England was playing a very dangerous game, trying to play out of their defensive third and facing France's pressure. That was where France was able to apply the most pressure and win back possession. England's defense was just left fighting for their lives against, well, Cascarino. When it comes to the second half, England can come back, but they have to get back in control of this game. France might park the bus or play on the defensive a little, thinking they're safe with a 2-0 lead, but that is where England needs to take the game to France. That being said, let's get into the second half. All right, so the 55-minute mark. The start of the second half is not going well for England. They are trying to get forward, but they are facing a lot of resistance from France. It is also clear France are not done yet. They are still trying to get another goal. In the 51st minute, Delamida would make an attempt from distance, trying to catch Hampton off her line, but it would go wide. I think in this case, Hampton needs to be careful because this was the second time France was trying to catch her off the line. In the 54th minute, France would play an overlapping through ball for Guerrero in the England box. Guerrero would see her attempt blocked by Hampton. Hampton was not able to hold it at first, but she was able to recover it, preventing France from scoring again on the rebound. So the 65-minute mark, England and France both made substitutions. Carter, Mead, and James would come out for Charles, Toone, and Kelly in the 60th minute. We will have to see whether Kelly, Charles, or Toone will be able to make an impact. For France, Katoto, Baltimore, and Cascarino would come off for Malar, Matteo, and Diani in the 62nd minute. Truthfully, that just went from, if you thought that was like tough, it just got even tougher. England would get 2 corner kicks in the 56th and 57th minutes, but nothing would come from them. France still appears to be more dangerous with their attack. They had a chance to score in the 64th minute after Hampton failed to catch the ball, but it would be cleared just in time. 76-minute mark, I regret drinking coffee before this. It does not seem like England can come back at this point, even if they were just to score one goal. France has been keeping the ball in England's defensive third, and France are winning possession higher up the field. They are creating chances and are hammering England's wings. England's defending on the wings is pretty terrible. France has no problem cutting into England's box with through balls and overlapping passes. At the same time, England has failed to get forward at this point. When they do, France is able to recover possession and get out quickly. The 90th minute mark. England was finally able to get on the scoreboard in the 87th minute thanks to Walsh's goal. Recognizing the urgency, Wigman would sub out defender Greenwood for striker Agimend. Up to this point, England has been on the attack. They are more aggressive and are moving quickly with more urgency and intensity. We are seeing more crosses and services, which is good. But is it too late? So the second half would see an additional 5 minutes of added time. After scoring their first goal, England would try to attack and press in the final remaining minutes, but ultimately nothing would come from it. It was a nice try though. The match would end in the 96th minute with France winning 2-1. Alright, so France wins 2-1. Besides the final remaining minutes, this was a pretty bad performance from England. This is not a good way for them to kick off their Euro run. France controlled the majority of the second half, and England seemed like they were just struggling to get forward for the majority of it. However, it could just come down to effort. England showed more effort to get forward, more intensity in these final 10 minutes than they did for the majority of this game. Like, what was that? Where was that intensity earlier? Where was that drive at the start of the second half? France was clearly the better team this time around. They maintained their attack, were dangerous down the wings, and put England under a lot of pressure. With that in mind, if England just increased their pace, intensity, and pressure, especially their pressure, they would have broken through France's back line. France kind of crumbles under a lot of pressure. That was also clear earlier in the first half. It seemed like England was just holding back too much in this game. Why they did so, especially against a team like France, is just disappointing and questionable. But yeah, something needs to change for their next match against the Netherlands. Anyway, that all being said, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.